Celia, fantastic, just one short idea. When we started with the netball, and we took young kids from the townships, some who played on dirt, gravel, and we took them, the winners would travel to Singapore.
Amazing.
Through football, through netball. One of these young girls, she must have been 17, had never been on a plane in her life. And she said, as she, really appreciating the moment, she says, can you imagine somebody like me who's never ever been in a plane now is going to Singapore? I mean, she had never even traveled to Johannesburg, let alone Singapore. So beautiful. Thank you, Dai, and the netball team for what you do. Minister, thank you very much. As you always say, education and sports are so intertwined, so our kids can learn and stay out of trouble through sports. Ndate Motsepe, thank you very much. Premier Rea Leboha, thank you for being here. You guys really have supported us through education, Rea Leboha. Danny, we've been, my brother from my other mother, that's what Patrice likes to say. So it's fantastic to see you all. Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to read briefly from this press release, and then, of course, I'm going to have to rush out to another commitment. So the press release reads, Motsepe Foundation donates 150 million to schools football. To schools football for boys and girls, and to schools African choral and indigenous music, and schools netball. The Department of Basic Education and the Motsepe Foundation announced today that the Motsepe Foundation is donating 150 million rands for the development and growth of schools football for boys and girls at secondary and primary schools, and for the promotion of schools African choral and indigenous music, as well as for schools netball. The donation of 150 million rand is for a period of 5 years and is in terms of the extension of the current partnership agreement between the parties, which commenced in 2016, and under which 70 million rands has been spent to date. R30 million will be distributed every year as follows. 12 million rands to the K Motsepe Schools Football Cup for boys and girls at secondary and primary schools. The winning secondary school will receive 3 million rands, which must be used for the construction or upgrading of football, education, and other sports infrastructure and facilities. 8 million rands for the new schools football competition for girls at secondary and primary school level, and for the new primary school competition for boys. 6 million rands for the ABC Motsepe Schools Choral at Stratford and the K Motsepe Schools Netball Cup. They will receive 4 million rands. The South African Football Association, or SAFA, will continue to perform the functions and role that they undertook in the previous agreements. The founder and chairman of Motsepe Foundation, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, said, the Motsepe Foundation is committed to continue investing in the education and the development and growth of our youth in football, music, netball, and other sports. Our partnership with the Department of Basic Education has over many years made significant contributions to the upliftment and improvement in the quality and standards of schools football, African choral and indigenous music, and netball. The Motsepe Foundation decided to substantially increase the donation in terms of the new agreement by more than 100%, and to contribute to ensuring that our youth in South Africa can perform and compete successfully with the best in the world in football, music, and netball. Academic success at school and in football, music, netball, and other sports create a solid foundation to pursue a promising future in these areas. Some of the best Premier Soccer League and Bafana Bafana players were first identified and recruited whilst playing in the Motsepe Schools Football Cup, which was established approximately 18 years ago.
You were still MEC.
The Motsepe Foundation is committed to pursuing and advancing academic excellence and excellence in football, music, netball, and other sports. And the Minister of Basic Education, Angie Motshekga, said, "We highly appreciate the continued support of the Motsepe Foundation and have no doubt that this long-term partnership will make a positive and sustainable difference in the lives of young South Africans. Together, we can birth in our lifetime a high-performing basic education system and a socially cohesive society at peace with itself. This is not just a project to build a nation of winners in music and sports only, but in all facets of life. We are here to build a nation as sports and music are integral to the full realization of any nation's growth." And a quotation from the co-founder and CEO of the Motsepe Foundation, Dr. Patrice Motsepe: "Supporting education, football, music, and other sports has always been a primary focus area for the Motsepe Foundation. We are excited to start during the next academic year the first schools football competition for girls at secondary and primary schools. We will use the rest of this year to prepare for the successful commencement of this competition. The girls' competition will contribute to the growth and development of women's football in South Africa, Africa, and the world. We also want to thank Minister Angie Motshekga for her outstanding leadership and support for our partnership. For further information or inquiries, please contact Vumisa Maisela at the foundation, at the email address in the document. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we will just excuse Dr. Precious. We'll excuse you whilst we proceed. Can you distribute the press statement so that everybody... can somebody help her so that she's not alone? Vumisa, somebody this side, and thank you so much. I saw my brother Matola. Thank you so much, Matola, for being with us. Thank you so much. It's a great honor to be with you. And I also saw Sophie Mukwena. Sophie, rabarata bo bohle marwena na le pleke special mo pelong sa rona. So it's so good to see you. And so what we'll do now, we will humbly ask our Premier to make a few remarks, because our star today, the person that everybody came to listen, is our Minister. Can we clap hands for the Premier, please?
Indeed. Thank you so much, Chair. I will not even waste your time. I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the huge, huge investment. We are indeed thrilled and excited, and I hope I also speak on behalf of the Minister, that this is a huge investment. It's a major, major step that will ensure that we produce our own Lionel Messi and many others that you know. Dr. Motsepe, if it can't start in the classroom, it will not be appreciated. If it can't start in the classroom, it will not yield the results. And if it can't start in the classroom, it will not excite us. If we have to promote social cohesion, it has to start inside the school premises. If we have to promote human capital, it needs to start inside the classroom. And if we also have to promote sports, it needs to start in the classroom. I always argue, and I'm going to argue very strongly, Dr. Motsepe, that sports is our new gold. In this I know you are in that industry, Dr. Motsepe. The minds that we used to cherish and appreciate, and the provincial government that I has the honor to lead has identified sports as the new gold that needs to be protected and be promoted. And we are putting all our resources to do that. And this investment falls nicely within our vision and within our commitment. Our view is very simple. Is to convert either the big teams to remain in our province, sign the big players to remain in our province, have big tournaments in our province, so that they can serve as an inspiration to our young people. And to have this tournament playing in Gauteng, it's a firm commitment that indeed we are on the right track and we are on the right path to ensure that major activities happen in our province. And we want to use sports to fight wrong things in our society, in particular drugs. We want to use sports as a tool to say to young people, see, without drugs you can succeed in life. But those that are already trapped there, they must know that they've got a second chance, and sports plays a crucial role in dealing with these things. What excites us here is that we are not only concentrating on the boy child, we are also concentrating on the girl child, both at the primary school level and at the high school. But in my State of the Province address, we said we are starting sports in Gauteng from ECD level. ECD. Every Wednesday they know they must kick that ball. And to us, it's an investment that we can't regret. But I appreciate the team that I follow very closely. So with the launch of this, it means I have the right, the first right of choice of the talent that will come out of this thing.
Thank you so much, Premier. Thank you. Can we clap hands for the Premier, please? It's wonderful to have a Premier who's passionate about sports and really who's contributing to making this province and making South African sports world-class. We are now humbly going to ask our Minister to lead us, and then can we clap hands for the Minister, please, as you...
Thank you very much, Chair. Let me acknowledge the chairperson of the foundation, Dr. Patrice, the CEO, in her absence. But let me start off by acknowledging you, Chair of the foundation, even the founder and Chair of the Motsepe Foundation. Let me also acknowledge my colleague, my leader, Premier Yaga, so the Premier of the province, Tateli Sufi, acknowledge Dr. Denny Jordan, the SAFA president, and my daughter, but the leader also in her own right, Cecilia Molokwane.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'll
Absolutely.
tell you more. Hey.
Beautiful.
So, indeed, Chair, I'm really honored to be part of this major announcement, as the Premier is saying, as the sector, very humbled also by this great donation of 150 million for the development and growth of school football for our boys and girls at secondary and primary schools. And indeed, the support is going to assist us in the promotion of choral and indigenous music as well as school netball. The partnership between ourselves as the Department of Basic Education and the Motsepe Foundation is indeed part of our broader strategy for building social cohesion and promoting unity in diversity as envisaged by our Constitution. As the Premier indicates, sports and music are very critical activities contributing to our children's holistic development. The basic education sector school enrichment programs are very important for us in building a social, cohesive society, building on a democratic society, non-racialism, non-sexism, united and prosperous society based on social justice, equality, and the rule of law, which are an inalienable right towards our human rights culture. Chair, I think I've whispered to you, brag that one of our A-State Ford product, our pretty Yende, she is indeed our product of our A-State Ford. She'll be singing at King Charles III coronation on the 6th of May. She's been invited internationally. And that's what this program does, to unearth some of our gems and really make sure that our flowers don't blush unseen. And that's, for me, also the beauty of this program. So these programs, Chairperson or Chair, they open unique world possibilities. Because it's not only Pretty Yende who's international. I've even said to the President, we produce children, they sing for all leaders in the world. And we don't give them at least an opportunity to sing even before you as the President. And they've agreed that at the next national awards, we will take either this year's singers, winners if it comes before, or last year's winners, to be able to honor all our national heroes that we'll be awarding and get some of the talent which we will have unearthed also, because indeed, through these programs, we are able to unearth amazing talent that we have in the country. And indeed, Chair, the nature of these activities create happy occasion as voices and sporting abilities of our young put on display to be appreciated by everybody. You'll also note that every year when we have a state fort, we compare winning schools with the academic performance. And in a strange way, your highly performing schools are normally your top winners also in these sports, which confirm a clear relationship between a happy environment, that the success that they get in sports also gets to influence the academic performance. It's a very, it's scientific and happens every year. We also, and I thought Dr. Precious will be here. We also did a study this year with the ECD program that the Premier spoke about, where we were assessing, because we have taken the function of ECD from social development to education. And our main reason was to create a seamless development for our children from cradle to grave. And therefore, it was very important for us to take ECD to make sure that by the time our children come to school, are they school ready? And conducted a very intensive study which revealed and confirmed that only 35% of our children come to school ready. So which means by age of 5, our kids are not school ready. Or they are not driving, because the study says drive by 5. They are not driving by 5. And I always say to the President, you say these kids must read the 10. If they are not driving by 5, they can't drive by 10. So they have to drive by 5, if they're to drive by 10. Then again, I'm told that by the time they leave your senior phase, they must have passed maths and science, which means they must drive by 15. And I said they can't drive at 15 if they didn't drive by 10. And they can't drive by 10 if they have not driven by 5. So, and therefore, for us, that's why it's very important that we have been given the function to make sure that indeed there's a seamless development. But what also came through that study, Chair, was the fact that our children are highly stunted also, which is not only a physical problem, but it's a cognitive problem. And health had to explain why do we have, we have school, we have all the child support grant, why are we experiencing such high levels of stunting? And one of their findings was that it's not only nutrition that makes kids not to stunt. They have to be happy and feel protected and loved. They say there's also the soft element that makes kids also not to be stunted, because we're not stunting, it's more of a physical thing about nutrition, but they say it's about happiness. So the Premier is right to say, we've got to get them be happy, even at ECD, if you want them to thrive. And therefore, these programs also help us to realize those objectives. So I want to assure the Motsepe Foundation that the programs you are supporting with your donations are very important. They're just not recreational activities to keep learners off the street. We are together building careers. We're imparting knowledge about our interconnectedness as part of humanity. In other words, we're building a strong nation which is courageous men and women worthy of the title of nation builders, one performance at a time. Again, for us, this is not just a project to build a nation of winners in choral music, but in all its facets of life, we want to thank you very much, because we don't say education is not for life. Education is life itself. It's not for life, it's not for the future, it's life itself. And therefore, the work that we do with yourselves is really a life program for us. So our gratitude goes to our other partners organizing such as the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, both at provincial levels and national, who always are partnering us with hosting. But we also want to appreciate your support also from other partners outside government, Network South Africa, USAFA, and all these other parties. We also want to thank them most sincerely for partnering all the time with us, because we believe that together we can birth in our lifetime a high-performing basic education system and a socially cohesive society at peace with itself. And again, we want to express our most sincere gratitude and feel extremely humbled by the contribution and the donation that we're receiving today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Minister. Can we clap hands for the Minister, please? I think we seem to be doing well from a timing perspective. I'm going to just make a few remarks, and as I said, we'll take questions from the media, and there has been specific requests. There are 5 of our major radio stations that are broadcasting live from here, and they've requested that the Minister and the Premier and yourself, Danny, as well as Cecilia, go and engage with them. Just 2 quick issues before we open to the media. The first is that we have the capacity to do great things, as a nation, and these are difficult times. We were in Davos a few weeks ago with some of the top businessmen from South Africa, trying to attract investment in the country, because you really cannot have sports developing and growing in a country where we still have challenges of unemployment and poverty. So there's a serious recognition and a serious commitment in everything that we do to try and give hope, create opportunities for those of our people who are either unemployed or marginalized or excluded. And that's why we've always looked at football and sports and Stadford and music within its broader context of the total socio-economic upliftment and inspiration of our people. So that's why today's event is very important, because we also want to give hope to the millions of people who will be listening to the Minister and to our Premier and to the president of SAFA and the president of Netball South Africa, to say to them that in many respects, there are many countries that have got challenges, and some have got many serious challenges. And of course, the issue of ESCOM and the issue of load shedding has a huge mental strain and a very debilitating effect on investments and on business, and on small business in particular. But we are confident. We've overcome bigger challenges in the past. Big challenges as a people and as a country. And we are confident that when we work together, we will overcome all of the challenges. ESCOM and unemployment and part of the problems we have in our businesses is many of the workers who receive money and are employed, their cost of living has not improved over the last 10, 15, 20 years because the pay increases hasn't kept pace with the inflation. So I just want to conclude by saying that, it's Dr. Precious was talking about, we arrived this morning. It's when I sit in a press conference like we do today, in the presence of really special and outstanding South Africans, that I and many South Africans get so much inspiration that, and of course today it's about sports, it's about football, it's about Stedford, it's also about education because, as the minister said, excellence on the field, excellence in sport, excellence in football, excellence in music, in African indigenous choral music goes hand in hand with excellence in academic performance. All right, so we'll take questions, and I usually ask Dr. Precious to deal with the media and answer questions, but because she's not here, I have to do it myself on behalf of the Motsepe Foundation. And please don't ask me questions about CAF or questions about Morocco Swallows. You can ask me about Morocco Swallows and all of the other football clubs I love immensely. I love Kaizer Chiefs, I love Orlando Pirates, I love Amazulu, I love all of them. Don't ask me about Sundowns because the chairman of Sundowns is not here. And but I just want to finish by saying that we can do so much together, and that's why I'm so happy that Danny is here, because there's a unique role that SAFA can and should play in partnership with the Department of Education. My brother here. I mean, we grew up watching some of the, I don't want to mention names, some of the best football players, the best, who are world class, and they were identified at the schools. The minister was there. I totally forgot that we actually launched the Motsepe Football Schools Competition, or Cup, in 2004. Totally forgot. And I was asking them to give me a list of the players. I mean, there's more than 50 prominent players, some of whom played for Bafana, some of whom played for the best football clubs in South Africa at the highest level, who were first identified or first spotted at the schools, at the Motsepe Schools Cup. And of course, we also want to give the 3 million rand first prize for the winning school. I mean, I was excited when I went to the Eastern Cape, and a school came and they said they won. They came third in the Motsepe Cup, took the money, and provided boreholes in the village where the school comes from. And they didn't have water before. The water had to be brought by trucks. So they used the prize money to dig boreholes, to drill for boreholes, provide water, running water, not just for the school, but also for the community. Okay? So Elijah, I mean, we are back in your hands, and as I said, we'll take questions, and afterwards, we'll hang around. The minister has kindly, because she's terribly busy, agreed that she'll be around to deal with the interviews from SABC and ETV. And also I know that the radio stations specifically asked them to go and comment there as well, and the Premier have done the same. Okay, Elijah, we're over to you now.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Colleagues, we will now open the opportunity for questions. We have a roving mic, and we will expect and request that you please raise your hand if you have a question, and then tell us who you are and the media organization that you work for, and then ask your question. So we request hands if there are any questions. I'm seeing one. Can you please take the mic to the back there? Yeah, please proceed.
Good day to everybody. My question I would like to put out to Ms. Cecilia. I know she hasn't spoken as yet, but I remember when she came to office in terms of just the vision that she had for netball and sort of putting it out there as one of the landmark sports in South Africa. And I feel like there's no better year than 2023 where we have a World Cup coming to South Africa to sort of elevate that. And I just wanted to get a feeling about this, especially coming from whether it's a foundation or an individual who's probably stacked with himself in the football space, but coming out and giving that support. This is something that you've always wanted since you've come into office. We're seeing this constantly coming along where these partners are coming around to assist you and assist netball in the country. And I guess just to get your reaction on this, that here's somebody who's coming in as well and putting a mark forward to say we are turning around and supporting your vision for netball.
All right, great stuff. Thank you so much for that.
My name is Vuyo Matoba from Newsroom Africa.
From which meeting?
From Newsroom Africa.
Oh, very good, thank you.
Newsroom Africa. Thank you so much. There's another hand here.
So Cecilia is writing down the question and she'll, okay.
Yes, we'll give her the opportunity to respond.
Good afternoon. Temba Shabalala, Joseph M. Sports. Mine goes to the President. President, from the Motsepe Foundation, I mean, there's quite a few projects that you are sponsoring, if I may use that term. I mean, even our first division in football now is under your watch. So I just need to find out, why is it important for you as a foundation that you keep on giving and empowering the black child, if I may put that as well, and for you to incorporate choral music into your properties as well as netball, because we've always known you in football. What is the mindset that comes with that?
All right, thank you so much. There's a hand there of the gentleman at the back with the camera that will come to you. Pass the microphone to him. How many mics do we have? We have 2. Okay, great stuff. So the one goes to him, but you go first over there. Please hand in the microphone.
Yes.
Name, please, first.
Okay, thank you. Velile Mnyandu from the SABC Sport.
SABC Sports.
Yes, President.
Thank you.
Yeah, my question goes to the Minister. Minister, we've been reporting for some years now on these good developments, like the foundation is making at the end today, but in the continuous reporting, we always find that it's a pity we don't see the development of sport today. We know that you've signed a number of MOUs on school sport between yourselves and the development of sport, but there's been a concern that there's lack of implementation of this on the ground, and which has frustrated some processes, especially from some footballing side. So with this groundbreaking announcement, how do we ensure that this is highly effective and is also reflective on the successes of these sporting codes, especially in the black schools?
Is it especially where?
In the black schools.
Oh, thank you.
Black schools.
Okay.
We don't have black schools, but it's fine. Can you please pass the mic to the gentleman there, just next to the camera?
We don't have black schools.
Thanks. Tebo from ENCA. My question is directed to
From
the Minister.
ENCA.
Yes. Slash ETV if you want. My question is directed at the Minister Motsepe. How is this partnership now going to bridge the gap, especially for township schools, rural schools, and former Model C schools and private schools, in terms of bridging the gap that is existing currently? Thank you.
Very good question, eh?
Yeah.
Those are the people that we really need to inspire and really, that's where our roots are and that's where our people are. Very good question. I think take two more. No?
Yeah, we'll take two more. There's a lot more new hands that are coming up now. Maybe we should just take all of them and call that the first round. Can you please give it to me? Yeah, thank you. Name and organization, please.
Good day, colleagues. My name is Nhlanhla Ngwenya.
Ndabezit.
Bayeti. I'm from Super Sports Kasi Game Show, one of the shows that profiles a black child from underprivileged communities. And I just want to say that I see the funds that are ring-fenced. You would have your 3 million that is directed to a winning team, and then it's ring-fenced that at least President, Chairman, you've spoken about an Eastern Cape initiative that Babinama boreholes and all that, which is good. Now, I want to put it to the participant itself. I was speaking to Mr. Beach from Clapham, that of what you got, 1 million for the winning team or winning school, we've got 20 participants that won the tournament. Now, after the tournament, it's finished about them. They are not absorbed by the first team, Mamelodi Sundowns, because they're from Clapham, and then they're not absorbed by any NFD team. What do we do now? How about at least take 20% of what you won and send the boys overseas? I'm coming back to Mr. Panyaza Lusufa Premier, that sports, it's the new gold. When you have those 20 participants winning the tournament, going to the USA, Spain, Germany, believe you me, the boys won't come back. That is the new gold that we need to target. The winners, let's take them abroad. You will see the revenues that the country will bring to the country. Mr. Premier, how do we make that happen? I'm here for your service. I'm here to help.
Okay, let's do it like this. We'll take my sister in front as the last question for this round. We'll come back to you. I've seen other hands. Please don't be upset. We'll make time for the second round. Please go.
Good day, everyone. I just wanted to ask
Your
about...
Your name, please, first.
Mpumi Manyesi, ETV and Josie FM.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask about the Wednesday school sports. Is it...
So the winter?
Wednesday school sport, is it officially coming back? Because there were challenges that were articulated regarding making sure that it comes back onto our schools traditionally. And if it is coming back, how is it going to be monitored? And are we going to have teachers that are already serving as coaches to be trained?
Okay.
You've got so much knowledge. You've asked such an important question. Eh? Very important. Which news media are you from? Josie FM. Is it Josie? Yeah, producer, Josie. Yeah, producer.
Che, I hand over back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Should we start with our minister first? Yeah.
Well, so that if there are yeah, so there was also a question about poor implementation that I'm going to speak to. And yeah, you know what is nice about sports and music, Che? They come naturally to our children. You don't even have to promote it. Kids just sing. All you have to do is to structure it, to train them, and give them the facilities and opportunities to do it. So you don't have to promote much around singing and playing. It comes natural. So all we do with all the support we get is to bring the resources to enhance that which just comes on its own. So we don't have to promote anything about music. We don't have to promote anything about sports. We have to bring facilities which are a major problem to us as a sector. We have difficulties with classrooms, overcrowding, and this helps us, it helps to ease the responsibility, especially in our previous to make sure that we can bring facilities. We can even compensate people who help us with coaching. I really don't want to moan much about the challenges that we have as a sector. If you go to Parktown Boys, parents pay up to 80,000 rands a year. Half of it goes into the sports academy. We go into no-fee paying schools. We give them what they do. They cannot pay coaches, because those coaches are paid differently. They are not your usual teacher. Your usual teacher has to even give extra classes for reading, extra classes for remedial work, extra. So we really, unfortunately, are still dealing with different worlds. But the point I want to make, Chair, is that both activities come natural. But what is important for us through the support that we're getting even outside our stretch budgets is to formalize this. So say your pre-TNDers and all of these stars that are here, it's our teachers who are not given even anything extra, who coach them and train them as professional opera singers, and we get little, and with the help, we will even then get outside support like we would get in Estate Ford. I think one of our biggest problems as a sector is communication. I really would wish people to come to the Estate Ford. It's mind-blowing. I mean, even the department knows when it's Estate Ford, I'm not working. Because you're going to get the best that this country can provide. But unfortunately, I don't think we are able to market ourselves adequately or unable to buy media space adequately to be able to invite people. Same with sports, unfortunately, because we're an education department. We work seasonal. We have your sports season, your athletics season, you have to pack it. We have your soccer season, you pack it. You have and those things, unfortunately, don't enable us to run a similar system where you have soccer right through the year, your Wednesdays, because we have to make sure that we balance our work, academic work and sports work, and still accommodate everything else. And that's one of the constraints that we have really around running a coherent system. I can say, Chair, when I was still a teacher at Orlando High, I used to be the sports teacher. I won't believe it. I used to be a 1.5 athlete. I had to do it at my own time. I had to arrive at Orlando Stadium at 6 in the morning from the township. And by the time the school starts, we're supposed to be ready in the classroom and teaching. When it's netball season, you have to also, as a teacher, volunteer to be a netball teacher. But I think with the ongoing challenges that I think our young teachers, our teachers experience, sometimes we find it difficult to get them to volunteer. On the other side, we find it very difficult to compensate them from our budgets. And hence, these partnerships help to complement where these weaknesses and where these shortcomings are. But as I say, I can go on and say it complements the work that we do in an amazing manner. Because if I want 150 million, I have to go and tell Treasury why they should give me 150 for sports when I still have children studying under trees. So, yeah, but it really is helpful. So, I've left to the difficult ones. Some why not to take kids overseas? Ngani yethu. Mhlawumbe ngani yethu sibona lithi sindwa ngamabhandi. Sinalutho nje. Yeah. I'm delegating downwards. You'll cover for me where.
Thank you so much. We can ask our opinion to address this very important question of the Wednesday schools day. Premier?
Well, very excited. Sports is our new gold in our province, so we'll protect, formalize, and support it. So we have launched our Sports Wednesdays in our province. We are now extending it to grade R's. So it's starting from grade R, primary schools and high schools. Every Wednesday, we are having those sporting activities. Actually, this launch assists us because we have to play for a purpose, as the minister indicated. So now that there is this tournament, it excites us, and we are going to accelerate that. I know the minister didn't go deep on this one, but the relationship with the Department of Sports, I think it's healthy. Fortunately, I come from that sector. I know it very well. Originally, yes, there were teething problems, but I think we have aggregated it correctly. What is the Department of Basic Education responsible for, and what is the Department of Sports responsible for? And that has assisted us. In international tournaments and other things done by Department of Sports, and the classroom part of it together with them, we identify that talent. So we are quite excited. But yet we are right in terms of benefits of expanding as many learners as possible. But it pains me to have huge companies like Transnet pulling out of School of Excellence. It pains me, I must be honest. It pains me a lot. We have tried very hard to rescue that school. That's why the president here, that we must find a way of working together. I'm obsessed with sport, I must be honest with you. I'm damn obsessed. If it was not my work commitment, I've been in Cairo to watch Sundowns and be in Cape Town to watch the cricket. That is why I'm rooting for netball girls. That trophy must remain here in Zanzibar. Must not go any other way. And I'm excited to see the school netball team as well. That netball trophy must remain in Zanzibar. It's just unfortunate they decided to play it in another part of our country. If it was in Gauteng, I know it would be definite that it will remain here. I will know it will be definite to remain. But we are investing in sport. We are going big. We really believe it's a new goal, in the true sense of the word. And therefore, every new initiative and new investment excites us. And I can declare, serious discussion with SAFA, that all Bafana games, qualifying games for African Nations Cup, must be played in Gauteng. Must not be played any other place. It must be in Gauteng. So we have already lobbied, and not in Gauteng, also in the townships of Gauteng. Because Bafana must come closer to our people. So we're persuading them to do that, because that's the new gold. A new gold, you nourish and nurture it. You don't just destroy it. And we are of the view that we are on the right track, and we remain hopeful, and we can honestly thank the Motsepe Foundation, especially the trustees and everyone, for really putting this huge amount of investment. The future is bright, and one day Bafana will wait for them at the airport with a trophy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Premier. Thank you. Cecilia?
Thank you, Chair. Because when people look at me, Chairperson, they go like, maybe I'll come up with a soft voice, which God didn't bless me with. But I love my voice. SA schools would like to play netball is one of the second biggest federation in the country after football, and it's not even giving the support that is supposed to be given in this country. And the question that I received, I was expecting it, especially when the student was, we were brought together. So I was like, yes, we had a vision when we started in 2017. Netball was not what it was today. And because of when I got into Netball South Africa as a former player myself, as a former coach and a former team manager, I've done everything in netball that anyone can think of. I said I want to be the change that I wanted. Because we talk too much of change, but we don't do anything. And our core business, I've changed it in netball South Africa. So our core business in netball South Africa is the player. You don't look at yourself, you don't look at any other thing. Change your life as a player. And hence, last year I think we contracted 24 players. First time we did this in South Africa. That the players waking up in the morning, just doing netball and playing netball every day of their lives. And when we came with this vision of saying we want to grow netball and we want to make it big as it is, and Chairman, let me tell you, there was no relationship between schools in netball South Africa when I came in. The first call I got from Diamond, who is the president of netball schools in the country, she said to me, I hope we're going to work together. I've had it tough, I don't want to have that anymore. And I said to her, we're going to have it so soft that you don't want to let me go as the president. And when I supported her on her first things, and she never thought I would, she started saying, now we are moving to the right direction. And now we've got such beautiful relationship between netball South Africa and schools. Hence, even if when she can call me in the last minute and say, this is what is happening, I'll avail myself because of a child. Netball we play on a court. We call it a court, not a field or whatever. We say a child on court is a child of court of law. So we want always to say, where it can begin is at school level. If they don't get the basic rights, like they don't get the basic education, at school level, at ECD level, they are not going to be correct. And what kills us as black players with talent and everything that we have is we don't have the facilities and the foundation that the white kids have. And we cannot run away from them. Those are the things that we have to rectify and say, if I'm a black child and I'm talented and I'm giving a good coach, not a teacher, minister, not a teacher, but a coach who is accredited. I'll go as far as Kaisa Shawani, who is from schools. I'll go as far as Eunice or Twitter, who is from schools. So to us, is those national players that are from schools, we don't have to have one or two of them. We have to know that. Now I'm proud because when I looked at the TNM list, it's the Telkom Netball League, our flagship in netball. When I looked at it, I saw two players that I know they played the Motsepe Foundation. And I was like, wow, that means this Motsepe Foundation League is doing something good that we can even produce. Because on one of the teams, I know one of the players that is from Singapore. It's now part of one of the reports that we play in Nigeria. And to me, that's a plus. To say this foundation that is being put for these players, we are seeing and we are ripping off it and we are happy. And please don't stop what you're doing. Not everybody sees the future. I like it when the Premier says, sport is the gold that they see in Gauteng. You know I'm going to challenge him. When you say things, I challenge. That's my nature. I challenge. I'm going to say to him, Premier, as sport is dead, can we come and knock at your door as netball, both with schools, to say, there are certain things that we wanted for so long. And I know that with your leadership and your vision of seeing is the gold, they've got brilliant ideas of, they're even doing the mini World Cup. Schools are doing the mini World Cup of 2023, playing with those 16 countries. And we want your support, we want the support of everybody to say, let's come together because this is the time for netball to shine. This is the time for Africa to shine. This is time for everybody to give space and to do what they do. If you want the job done, send a woman. It shall be done.
Very inspiring. Just before I respond, Dr. Jordan, just a few remarks on your side in terms of the partnerships and the
Thank you very much. First of all, I must congratulate the Motsepe Foundation as well as the Department of Basic Education for what is a very important launch this morning. We started off with the Motsepe Foundation, the K Motsepe Cup. Then CAF had a new president, and CAF announced for the first time that the focus is school football. And today we have the Pan-African schools competition. Then the president of CAF became the vice president of FIFA. Then FIFA announced they are working towards an international schools competition and a schools World Cup. So we can see the impact of the Motsepe Foundation's reshaping of a core part of not just South African football, but global football, school sport. Look at South Africa in relation to that. COSAFA had a schools competition to determine the best African schools in Southern Africa. Who are the winners? Clapham, South Africa. The girls champion of South Africa, Edendale, KZN. Those two schools are the Southern African champions. Those two schools are now going to play in the Pan-African Conference. And I believe that they're strong enough to become the first African school champions. And this is because South Africa got a head start. The second thing that is important is that girls school sport. We already said that we want two things. We want to make a bid for the Women's World Cup 2027, and we want 1 million women footballers by 2030. Now, where will they come from? If we have 10,000 schools at the minimum to play football, and each one of them have 30 girl players, then we have an additional 300,000 girls footballers. We already have 469,000 women footballers. So we're already close to 800,000 women footballers. And that's why this particular announcement fits into and making sure that we will achieve 1 million women footballers by 2030. We are already the biggest men's sport, the biggest women's sport is netball, and we are very close on the neck of netball. So they must rush, because if we get the women's 1 million women footballers and 3 million men footballers, we are one of the biggest codes in the country. So we are very delighted with the success of what has already been achieved. And the African continent celebrates the fact that for the first time,